Honestly, 2.5 years ago, if I was to hear myself saying that, I'd be like, what is this guy smoking?
Good morning, YouTube. It is currently 6 a.m. on Saturday, and I am going to bring you through my weekend where I am doing a long run for my ultramarathon training and then show you the rest of the family time. But first things first on a Saturday, coffee and playing with Lego with Beau. I'm always impressed with Beau's creations with the Legos. I mean, you buy the Lego sets and then you build them, and then he'll just pick it apart and he'll build just stuff like this, which is awesome. Or this is his car. What's this for, Beau?
Off to rain.
What's this motorbike for?
To go far away magic distance.
It's awesome. Creativity just goes wild.
And the coolest, well, the thing that I made this, well,
What's this one, Beau?
an army aeroplane.
It's an army aeroplane. What does it do? Does it shoot down baddies?
Obviously. Dad.
So today on Space we're going for a 32k run, but I've had a chesty cough all week. You've had a chesty cough too, Beau, haven't you?
Yeah.
Are you feeling better?
I haven't got a headache.
You've got a headache?
No.
No, you haven't. You had one earlier in the week, didn't you? But I've woken up and I feel okay. And so I think I'm gonna go for it, but there's another thing pushing me to go for my run, because earlier in the week I ordered some new running shoes and no one will be able to miss me if I'm coming in these because they're so bright. These are the Ultra Mont Blanc Carbon. So I bought them for my Ultra that I'm gonna do in May because they have a carbon plate in them. And so they've got more flex. And I thought if there's anything I can do to give me a chance of completing this monstrous Ultra, which has 8,770 feet of elevation, I thought, give it a go. So I'm quite keen to go out in these and give them a go and see how they feel. But I'm also conscious I've had a chesty cough. Today's the first day I feel okay. So I might get 2k down the road and just be like, no, it's not happening. So let's see. One thing my wife, Katie, and I do that is quite useful is we'll plan out our week and we'll plan out our exercise. So we both know when the other one is exercising, so the other one can then make sure they fit something in too. So for example, tomorrow, later on in the vlog, you will see that I take Beau and Poppy to Farmer Palmer, which is a play farm. And I'm doing that whilst Katie goes on an 11-mile walk with a bunch of her friends. So we're able to both do what we want. This is our calendar. It is a weekly calendar, which if you're ever gonna buy a calendar for your year, don't get a weekly one. It's useless. Katie, what are we doing next week? I don't know, let me look. Useless, absolutely useless. Kitchen's now in chaos, Poppy's come down, Katie's come down, so I've come in here to give you an update. Every morning I'll make Katie a trio of drinks, so tea, coffee and water, and that's just my way of doing a little something for Katie, which is quite nice. I'm gonna have my big bowl of skier, porridge and chia seeds, but I'll put more porridge in it because obviously going on a long run, need a little bit more energy. And I will normally feed Poppy her 2 poached eggs, toast and avocado, very posh little 2-year-old. Then I'll get ready for my run. All right, so here's what I put in my running pack when I run. And I figure because I'm running a long way and for a lot of hours, it's acceptable to have a running pack. This is a very well used one, and I've actually broken the zip on the back, so I've used the elastic to tie that up and it seems to work. I've not lost anything yet. At least I can't remember losing anything, so that's okay. I just shove everything to the bottom and hope for the best. I've also broken one of the little loops that go around your water flask because again, trying to put my water flask in there too enthusiastically broke it, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, at least it's well used. So, I normally put 2 foil blankets in because I figure if I'm running and I hurt myself and I'm up the top of one of the hills and I'm cold, it's super useful. But the reason why I pack 2 is you never know what's gonna happen, and if you run past someone who needs one, and I'd always wanna be able to say, here, have this foil blanket just to help, because it's just the right thing to do and they don't really weigh anything, so it's not really going to weigh me down. Pack a load of blister plasters just in case, and I think it's especially important today because I'm running in new shoes and you never know what's going to happen in new shoes, so good to have those. And then water, I have a 1 litre pack which I'll put in the back, and then I've got that that is just water. And then I have two 500ml soft flasks, which I put in the front bits here, one either side. And I normally put an electrolyte and sugar solution in them, but I've run out. I used Tailwind, so I've just got electrolytes. I'm just gonna put electrolytes in these, which just means when I'm fueling, I need to eat a little bit more than I would usually. And then fueling, I try and aim for 60 to 90 grams per hour. If I'm doing an event, it's always gonna be for 90 grams per hour minimum. And I do that through gels. So I use Talk gels, and I've got a new pack. I've got Raspberry Ripple, which the thing with these flavors is they're great the first couple of times you have them, and then they just become way too sickly. But the multi-pack where you can buy loads of different flavors is just so much more expensive. So I rotate the flavors. Apple crumble is a good one. I quite like that one. I did try SIS gels, but I find the cheaper gels like SIS just increase the risk of me crapping myself whilst running. And that's not fun for anyone. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for other runners. It's not fun for dogs. It's, yeah. So I invest in everyone by doing that. And then for more solid fuel, I actually buy Nature Valley, and it's just because I like them, really. They've got a good amount of sugar, the ingredients are okay, and they're a bit dry, so when I have them, I need to drink a lot of water, but again, helps fluid, helps keep me hydrated. But yeah, that's what I have for fueling. I'll typically have something every 20 minutes. So the first 20 minutes I have a Nature Valley bar, then a gel, then a Nature Valley bar, then a gel. But yeah, that's what's in my pack. Forgot to say, I also have toe socks, which I'll save you the shot of me putting them on because I've currently got half a big toenail and no toenail on one of my little toes because they just fall off after I do long runs, which is pretty gross, but to be honest, Beau and Poppy think it's absolutely hilarious, especially when the nail's just like on the edge, you can pick it up. I won't show that unless you like that, in which case tell me your price, and if you can support my family, I'll see what we can do. Onlytoes.com. But yeah, toe socks help stop the blisters, which is good because blisters aren't fun. I'm 2 miles in and finding it harder. I've still got the remnants of the chesty cough, and I'm in that position where I don't want to not do it because I want to do it, I enjoy it, I know I enjoy it, but I also know perhaps maybe I'm not well enough. And because it's a chesty cough and it's in my lungs, I sort of know deep down it's not a good idea. I just think, what would I tell a client? And I'll probably say, go out for a light jog, see how you feel, but don't do the full distance. Which is really annoying because it's part of the plan, I want to do it. But now I have to think about like the long game. And if I do too much now, then that might just screw me over for an extra week. Then I'll get even less training in. So it's annoying. I'm gonna climb the first hill, which is about 2k away, and it'll be 6-7k in total, and then make a decision from there. And then if I just need to turn back, then I've done a 14k run, but really annoying, really annoying. It's a beautiful day as well. Visibility is great, so I'll be able to see so much from the hills as well. Right, I'll check back in shortly. So I got about 30 seconds down the road after finishing that video and I just started coughing my guts up. I felt like my lungs were going to come out of my mouth. So yeah, disappointing, but it's definitely not a good idea to go on this run. So 3.6k in, there's no shortcut home, so it'll be about 7k for a run, but it's okay. And then get home, spend the day with the family, which, I mean, that's not bad. It's absolutely lovely. Dear, I got another kilometre down the road and then my cough came back, and the best way to describe it is it feels like Wolverine's having a fight in my lungs. And I was just like, oh, I need to walk. So walking back for a kilometre, which is already better on my lungs, which is good, and really annoying, really annoying, because the last thing I want to do is miss a long run, because the ultra is so challenging. The distance, okay, so the distance is 56k, and I've done a 54k before and it felt okay, so I'm not really worried about that. But it's more the elevation, because it is essentially up Ben Nevis twice. That's how high it is, which is
which is more than double what I've done in an ultra before. So I need to get my long runs in because of that. I need to be able to have the stamina to take on the hills, really. What can I do about having it cold? Price of being a dad, eh? Very small price to pay, I should add as well, because you know, you get so many delights from your kids otherwise. I have to apologise for the lighting, but the way back home means that the sun is going to be in the background, so it's not going to be the best quality. But yeah, I always find it amusing when I talk about doing an ultra, because 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, the thought of doing an ultra would just be like, absolutely not a chance in hell. In fact, the thought of doing a park run 2.5 years ago would have been, you know, a big no. Wouldn't have been something that I wanted to do at all. Quite scary, in fact. But I ended up thinking, no, running is a bit of a challenge for me because it's not something I want to do. So let's see what I can do with it. And I ended up doing the first park run, quite enjoying it. And it happened, I started running at a time where I had loads of stress, and it really helped me manage it. And so I kind of caught the bug for running that way, and progressively set myself more challenges. So did a 5K, then a 10K, then a half marathon. Then actually the client was like, should we do the Brighton Marathon? And I can't say no to a client. So I did the Brighton Marathon, and then my dad actually suggested that we do our first ultras together, and it was a local one to me in Dorset, so I knew, you know, the route would be lovely and really nice. And anyway, did that with my dad, and didn't feel that bad, really. It actually felt reasonably doable. It was easier than the marathon, but the reason why, the way you do an ultra is completely different to a marathon. And for one, I think trail running is more fun because there's just less expectation on the time, so you're not trying to slog yourself to get to the end. But also with ultras, it's more acceptable to walk at times. So the strategy I take is I run the downhills quite fast actually, and I do the flats like a reasonable pace, not that quick. But then I just like power march up the hills, and by doing that, the heart rate never spikes that much. So, you know, as long as I'm fueling and eating enough, and my stomach can handle it, which, you know, it's been fine every single ultra I've done so far, it's actually okay. Honestly, 2.5 years ago, if I was to hear myself saying that, I'd be like, what is this guy smoking? But it goes to show the power of just committing and doing something. I see it all the time with my clients as well. So if you're watching this and you don't know, I'm an online personal trainer, mainly for dads, because I'm a dad, and I think fitness should be a catalyst for a better life, and it should be a catalyst to help you be a better dad, i.e. you have more energy to play with your kids, you have better anger management, emotional control, so you're not just losing your rag at kids for kids doing things that kids do, i.e. not listening to their parents and, you know, throwing food on the floor and whatever. But I see it all the time with my clients in the sense of they never think that they're the people that can exercise, or they have an identity where they're like, I'm the fat person. That can change so quickly. And when it does change, and they go through that transformation, where they go from not really enjoying life as much because they lose a sense of who they are, they don't quite feel like themselves again, to regaining that, or not even regaining that, but finding a new sense of who they are, and being a person that they want to be. They want to be for their wife, for their kids, for themselves. All of a sudden, things that they thought were hard or impossible, things they'd never do, like they're doing. Like taking the kids to the park and being the dad that's running around with their kids, not the one pushing them on a swing with one hand, the other hand just like scrolling through their phone. And it's amazing. We can do a lot more than we think we can. And you can as well, whether that's in fitness, work, intellectually, as a person, spiritually, whatever it may be. Like honestly, a bit of self-belief and knowing that whatever journey you try and do is going to be hard and there's going to be obstacles. Knowing to expect that so you can take that in your stride and, you know, get back up when you struggle or find it difficult. You know, you can go a lot further than you think. Yeah, anyway, motivational monologue on my walk back with my chesty cough. Done. Oh man, I'm so gutted about this run today, so gutted.
It's Sunday, it's 9:39. We've made it to Farmer Palmer's, which is the adventure farm we're going to. It's that weird temperature where it's like really, really cold, but then it's really sunny. So if you're in the sun, it's really warm, but if you're not, it's freezing. So I've got all of our coats, Spider-Man outfit, of course, and hopefully nobody overheats or freezes, which is going to be a challenge. Alright, all done. It was really, really fun. We had a moment where Beau needed a wee in the park and is in his Spider-Man outfit, so took Poppy out the swing, ran to the toilet, just about made it, but you could tell he was about to wet himself, which was not fun. Otherwise, it was all good. Did the cheeky thing where I bought the smallest meal I could so we could all sit in the restaurant and eat, and they had their packed lunches, but fun. Success. No one got hurt. Everyone stayed hydrated. Nobody wet themselves, so great day out with Dad, I think. The kids are now asleep in the car, and I thought instead of just going home and sitting on the driveway, I'll come and look at this viewpoint. Absolutely beautiful. So this is like 5 minutes from where we live, and it is just amazing. So I'm gonna sit on the bonnet, just chill out, enjoy the view, enjoy the sun, and let the baby sleep.